Good morning, evening, afternoon. Today we are playing Echoes of Lucid9 Fangame previously after talking to Yama and getting him to remember everything. We find out from Kosuke that Kosuke basically made him more sensitive with like the incepts and whatnot, and it's kind of going on one of his signature speeches about why he did it, because he's Kosuke and that's what he does. And yeah, so let's continue. This way forward, in addition to being our namesake, is what our corporation has always intended to achieve. What Rika Nijikawa created this corporation in a century and a half ago. Her philosophy, the way forward, was one of unity through healing and healing through unity. Over time, that philosophy evolved from finding treatments to finding cures, from healing into using science to create tools that could fundamentally limit break the human body and our understanding of it. For a fair measure, financial support in return. The true way forward is to advance our scientific knowledge of the mind and body for the purpose of assisting others in exceeding their biological limitations. By doing so, like, you can't. Kosuke would do something, and then like you say, why? And then he's like, I've been waiting for a year. I had this whole speech planned out. Like, even if you're like, Kosuke, why are you mixing pickles and peanut butter together? He'd be like, this is why. And 5 hours later, he'd be like, that's cool. You could have just said, I think it tastes good. And that's very much him. So much lines he has. By doing so, we work to close the gaps that have produced so much hardship and suffering, so that we may all become something greater. There is much to do, however. Instant gratification should not be desired or expected, and those who truly understand the way forward know that our actions are best driven by perpetual improvement. It feels a little culty. The Aurora Project is the culmination of my life's work to serve humanity and abide by principles of the way forward in both faith and action. Through Aurora, I preside over the development of the incepts through protocols of which I used on Yama Ishimoto to repair his mind, as well as to convince him that you were dead. Aurora's ultimate goal is to totally and reliably repair individuals suffering intense physical and psychological trauma. The benefits that would be inherent to a means of doing so is not something I should have to explain. As for Yama Ishimoto's condition was a valuable one. As for Yama, his condition was a valuable one. Not only did he suffer from multiple underlying disorders, but we discovered upon initially fabricating your death that his innate fear of losing you opened the door for some illuminating simulations. We could simulate and thoroughly observe the neurology of intense loss again and again without any conflicting variables in play. Not only that, we could finally see how the human mind, Yama's mind, adapted to our influence. You should be excited. Thanks for telling me what I should feel. You know, while your best friend did suffer, that suffering made Inceps what it is today. Okay. Honestly, I'm not even surprised that you'd think this low. But you know what you're doing is morally reprehensible. I know what you're doing is morally reprehensible. And I'm not going to change anything by letting you know that's the case. I trust you're not planning to interfere. As long as you're not planning on getting rid of me for no reason. I mean, I'm sure you could think of a reason. I'm not, Hayata. I don't take employee terminations lightly. Unless I say what you're doing is kind of not the best, and then you shock my brain, but sure. Alrighty then. Permission to be dismissed? Of course. Hayata, you've had a long day. Consider yourself off the clock until tomorrow. All I ask is that you get some rest. Just a heads up, you'll need as much sleep as you can get before tomorrow's briefing. Nakamura wakes everyone up at 4 a.m. on mission days. They're really going to send me on a mission tomorrow? On my second day here? That's either an insanely bold move or an insanely stupid one. Either way, it's a vote of confidence. Let's hope I don't disappoint anyone this time. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Who you be? Your guest has arrived, High General. Shall I clear her for entry? Send her in, Corporal. Aye, aye, ma'am. Okay. So the general is in the Navy. Like that's a Navy thing, I think. Like aye, aye, Captain. Yeah, yeah, yes, no. Yeah, I know. Opening the door for you now. I guess I'll use my serious voice. I only have so many voices I can do, so chances are it's just going to sound like Limney Skate's person, and hopefully this general and the Limney Skate person doesn't have to talk in the same scene, because it's just going to sound the same, but we'll see. I apologize for having you flown all the way out here, Detective. Corporate powers would likely intervene if we had this conversation on solid ground. Detective? Detective? Is the detective I'm thinking of? No, glasses, straight brown hair, funny looking hat. I guess I'll see. A trivial matter, High General. It was never my intention to arrive in person, because it could also be the police detective, so I'll wait and see until they give a name. Regrettably, my efforts to contain and attenuate criminal violence in Isamu were poorly received. Never mind, this has to be Shigure. No one says this word other than Shigure in the Lucid9 world. So, just Inamoto now. I'm right. Cookies for me. That is Shigure, right? It is Shigure Inamoto. I think it is. I've been wrong before. Also, why does she look like the ghost? I must say, you've done exceptionally good work in securing the vicinity. I've just performed a scan, and the telemetry I've collected does not indicate any heat signatures, listening devices, or acoustically permeable bullheads within 50 meters of you. I've always been impressed by the engineers on this ship. Forcing the ISM's branches to get along has always been a hell of a task. But we have one thing in common. It's that none of us would ever be foolish enough to trust the DCIS with our lives. The Corpies, I think, discuss it openly whenever we have the misfortune of dealing with them. There's this figure they answer to that they call the Warden. Whoever they are, it's obvious that they're not above violating contracts if it means they can bug our gear. We're almost certain of her identity. I have imagined she would be capable of usurping the democratic process without the aid of any pseudonym. But the impetus of her dealings has never been anything but ambiguous to us. Impetus. Regardless, our technical expertise has only flourished since our self-imposed exile. Situated towards your interior is one of a kind portable communication device that utilizes the principle of quantum entanglement to generate a secure and non-interceptable transmission. The remaining Limniscate executives surmise that such a technology would be developed devoid of any practical application. Fortunately, our foreign sponsors were not of the same persuasion. I wasn't aware that the Birdsong Collective had foreign sponsors. I deliberately obfuscated fact on our part, one much like the existence of the 580,000 ton battle carrier, the meritocracy recently commissioned in Nagoya. I wasn't aware that your budget was not extensive, High General. And I never thought I'd see the day when one of Japan's city-states would become a global superpower. I was a colonel in the JDF before I was offered a position here. I can't say I am thrilled with the idea of only defending one city in name, but I doubt it makes a difference. Almost all of Japan has supported Isamu's policies since the recession. It would be foolish for the plutocrats and the trifecta to leave a single square centimeter of it undefended. But that's easy for me to say. My family came to Isamu long ago, at a time where peaceful asylum seekers could be heard from again after crossing the border. I sense you disapprove of DCIS's liquidation protocols. Evaluation of government policy is not one of my duties, Inamoto. I'm just here to look after the men and women under my command. Then, the continual efforts of DCIS to facilitate the consolidation of their own power should concern you. I'm not surprised by your reluctance to respond. After all, the message I'm about to deliver to you could be considered treason against the state by any power in Isamu not fond of its contents. The Birdsong Collective has intercepted and decrypted multiple transmissions originating from a Lemniscate communications satellite in geosynchronous orbit. Geosynchronous orbit. There we go. Whose encryption protocols are more advanced than anything we've ever seen. Inamoto's always giving me difficulty. Most were less than worrying, however. RDF readings on a return signal exposed a convoy of over 40 ships escorted by an unmarked destroyer flotilla sounds like a spatula that floats. I have no idea what that word is. While the manifest was far easier to obtain, it indicated the presence of some disconcerting material, most notably 500,000 tons of uranium-235. An additional confirmation is required, so I'll continue to track the shipments. However, its current coordinates of latitude -73.578 and longitude of -161. I don't really know the proper ways of seeing the latitude things. 0.596 are not conducive to any logical course I can't say logical. Anytime I have to read like Inamoto's lines, I magically can't say regular words. Because I'm too busy trying to say complicated words. And it fries my brain. I thought I was a smart person until I started having to read Inamoto's lines. Any logical course towards a known ISM, Black Star, WFCN, or Lemniscate Navy base. If you don't believe me, send a spy drone. Do you have an explanation for what that convoy is doing in the Arctic Circle? You may have your doubts about the events I'm reporting to you, High General, but please ask yourself this. Why would a known Lemniscate satellite order an unmarked military convoy carrying fissile material to travel into the southern ocean? You may wish to consider working with us, High General. If those materials are allowed to reach their destination, Isamu may soon encounter an enemy it is not prepared to face. And make no mistake, High General. If I am correct, and I do intend to be, that enemy is already watching us. I'm not the enemy! Just because I'm planning Kosuke's murder doesn't mean I'm evil. I say casually. What are your terms? Nothing unreasonable. At least, not for the military. I want everything. Oh, stuff is happening. The Lucid Cell's underground headquarters in District 2 functions as their stationary base of operations and a hub world for Act 1 of Echo's a Lucid9 Fangame, and is accessible between missions. While a majority of the planned features in the Lucid Cell's headquarters are missing or incomplete, you may use Rui's quarters to purchase additional consumables and ammunition from the SSD, access the codex, and sleep until your next mission. For playthroughs on veteran or lucid difficulty, the acquisition of large supply of consumables prior to any combat engagement is highly recommended. I don't remember what setting I chose. I think I chose Lucid. I chose the one that was like the general sort of thing, the middle ground. Now this is a big menu. So dojo is somewhere. District 2, Lucid Cell HQ. Controlled by the Way Forward Corporation. I like that it tells me this because I guarantee you if I'm somewhere else I wouldn't know it. Go to your quarters, sleep past time, squad members, equipment, and consumables, earn money in the dojo. Okay, go to the briefing room, view situation tracker, go to medical bay, view stats, install upgrades, go to the bio lab, view situation tracker, talk to Hisao. Okay. Go to Emmy's office, talk to Emmy. Go to Medical Bay 2, talk to Yama. Visit Yama's quarters. Talk to Yama. Go to the mess hall. Go to the station. I don't remember where the dojo is. HQ? It's somewhere in the HQ. Is this where the dojo is? I feel like this is where the dojo is because it says earn money in the dojo in green. Because I want to go to the dojo because I pretty much guessed my way through the first battle. Like, that's why it took me so long. I feel like I was extremely inefficient. And I don't like my battles to be inefficient. It's one thing if it's not because I'm not paying attention and I mess up. But it's another thing if it's just because I actually have no idea what I'm doing. I'm off duty until 4. Okay. Enter the dojo. Manage squad members. Request equipment and items. Change armor. Leave armory. Well, we're not leaving the armory. I definitely want to take a look at this dojo. How much time enters? I like that it's green. The game is basically telling me, go to the dojo. Incepts protocol active. Initializing simulation. Simulation initialized successfully. Account balance. I have a lot of money. Welcome to the dojo. Please note that the Way Forward Corporation and Special Services Division take no responsibility for any injury incurred as a result of any misuse or improper application of its products and services. This is also kind of cool. It looks like I'm falling into something. Please consult a physician before using the dojo to confirm that your physiology is compatible with the administration of insects, microbes, and intravenous sigma tryptomethylindroxybutyrate sigma tryptomethylhydroxybutyrate. It's so long that it couldn't even be put onto one line. Would you like to change your stats? So increase strength, increase resilience, increase mobility, increase combat, increase engineering, increase decryption, increase medication, increase mental stats. No, I'm ready for this. Fuck it, max everything. I don't want to max anything because I want to see how it is as I'm fighting how I currently am. So I'm gonna save. Can I not save? Aha! No, I'm ready for this. Boom, 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 boom. Dojo battle 000. The unwanted training partner approaches. Ah, is that you, Dr. Hayata? So, it is splendid. I had come to the prior conclusion, but you'd be too spiteful to show. But here you are. You have my thanks for disproving that particular notion, Doctor. Or would you prefer operative? Someone with your level of credentials ought to be referred to by the most impressive of titles. Well, we'll see how my mock battle goes with Hisao. Hopefully I don't die or something in the next episode.